With 19 characters available in just its closed alpha state, Marvel Rivals already offers players plenty of variability. But us fans, we always want to know what's next. So if you're like me and you just can't wait, well, I got some good news, because not only has the code for the next 20 planned heroes leaked, but we also have some substantial information on how many of these characters will actually look and play. Not to mention, we have some rumored info on heroes that you'll definitely want to hear more about, but you'll have to stick around till later in the video to do that. Hey everybody, Bobby here, aka the Atomic Bobcat, and today I want to take a deeper look at all of the leaked characters rumored to be making their way to Marvel Rivals. So yes, leaks aren't official confirmations and plans are certainly subject to change. Still, I wanted to warn you that potential spoilers may lie ahead. But I'm guessing since you've clicked on this video, you're probably the type of person who likes to secretly peel back the tape on your Christmas presents, take a quick peek, and then shove it under the tree like nothing ever happened. Well, I may not be Santa Claus, but I do got a good list here. Except it's of Marvel characters and not who's been naughty or nice. Alright, I'm officially ditching this metaphor. Honestly, we have a lot to go over today, and I don't want to waste any more time. So for those of you who just want the quick and dirty list, here are all the leaked characters rumored to be making their way to Marvel Rivals. We have Adam Warlock, Black Widow, Blade, Captain America, Cloak and Dagger, Hawkeye, Human Torch, Invisible Woman, Iron Fist, Jeff the Landshark, Mr. Fantastic, Moon Knight, Psylocke, Squirrel Girl, The Thing, Thor, Ultron, Venom, Winter Soldier, and Wolverine. Additionally, while she hasn't been found in the code, there is a reference to Jean Grey that suggests she might be coming as well, but we'll get to that in just a bit. If and when completed, this list would bring the total roster number in Marvel Rivals up to 39, and again, that's not including Jean. For reference, that's just about how many characters Overwatch 2 currently has after building upon its lineup since 2016. Now, we have no idea how long it will take developer NetEase to push out these heroes, and who knows, they may pivot on some of these characters down the line and change course altogether. We'll just have to wait and see. But first, I'd like to say that most of this information is provided by Miller Ross on Twitter, who meticulously data mined through Marvel Rivals code. If you're on Twitter and you're interested in the latest in Marvel Rivals leaks, rumors, and news, following Miller Ross is an easy recommendation to make. As is hitting the like button on this video, by the way. Again, not only have all these characters been uncovered in the code, but we also have been given a glimpse at how some of these heroes will look and even play. To make this video even easier to follow, I'll go through all of the leaked information we have character by character. I'll cover each hero and villain in alphabetical order, and if you want to skip around to some of your favorites, I'll have each of the characters timestamped as well. Alright, first up is Adam Warlock. Based on his abilities, Adam Warlock looks to be a pretty interesting ranged support character. One ability allows Adam Warlock to freely move around as a soul after he's been eliminated and lets him respawn at a spot of his choosing. I'm honestly not too sure how this will all work, but it sounds super cool. Outside of that, the hero has a couple of ranged attacks, a bevy of healing and revival abilities, and a team up with Star-Lord and Mantis. Next up is Black Widow. Black Widow appears to be a highly mobile sniper character. One of Widow's abilities aids in her sharpshooting endeavors as it reveals enemy positions for a brief period of time. To me, it sounds an awful lot like Widowmaker from Overwatch. Black Widow has a number of mobility and enemy neutralizing moves that allows her to fight at a close range, or at the very least escape to better positioning. Blade is a character that I'm sure will raise quite a few eyebrows, but unfortunately there hasn't been much uncovered about him yet. The code reveals that Blade will make use of 2 weapons and he'll be able to switch between them, presumably a shotgun and of course a sword. There are a few abilities listed, but unfortunately no descriptions. Like Blade, we just don't know too much about Captain America's specific abilities. That said, we do have a bit of interesting information on the leader of the Avengers. Cap's bio states that this version of the hero wasn't thought until 2092, meaning that fans will presumably get to see a futuristic iteration of Steve Rogers. Interestingly, Cloak and Dagger look to join the fight, but as a single hero. The duo combines as one character who can heal and deal damage. Essentially, characters can switch between the two at will, with Cloak delivering damage and Dagger healing allies. Along with characters like Hawkeye, Human Torch, and Thor, we also got our first look at Cloak and Dagger, and I must say that they look absolutely stunning. Speaking of Hawkeye, Clint Barton is next on our list. And to no one's surprise, Hawkeye is a marksman who uses a bow and arrow to take down enemies, featuring a wide variety of different arrows. Additionally, Clint makes use of some of his Ronin skills and even features a double jump ability. Hawkeye and Black Widow are even slated to receive a team-up. As you might imagine, Human Torch is a flying character who attacks enemies with a wide range of fire abilities. Perhaps most notably is his team-up with Storm, which essentially ignites her already insanely useful ultimate ability, resulting in a fiery tornado. Now, we didn't get a lot of information about the Invisible Woman, but it sounds like Sue will be a support character that uses force fields to protect herself and allies. With Dr. Doom being the main villain of Marvel Rivals, at least narratively speaking, it makes sense to see Fantastic Four members on this list, but we'll get to more on that in just a bit. Iron Fist is another character with only just just a few details, but what we do know, however, is that this will be the Lin-Lei version of the character and not the Danny Rand iteration as seen in the Netflix series. Without too much information concerning Lin's abilities, we can assume Iron Fist will probably be another physical brawler like Black Panther or Spider-Man. Jeff Landshark is a character that many will likely have to look up, and I'll admit it, I did. But after doing so, I gotta say that this little guy is quickly becoming a favorite for me. Little Jeff is a healer that can turn into a big monster and swallow enemies whole. Additionally, Jeff will team up with both Groot and Luna Snow. Just based on his comic book abilities alone, Reed Richards is one of the characters I am most curious to see play in Marvel Rivals, and I gotta admit, after reading his breakdown, I'm still not sure whether he'll qualify as a DPS character or a support hero. Either way, Mr. Fantastic looks to be a physical brawler who can absorb damage, reflect it back, and even heal. Based on my time in the Marvel Rivals Discord channel, Moon Knight seems to be one of the most requested heroes out there. According to the leak, however, it looks as though NetEase is actually working on it. Moon Knight looks to be all about stunning enemies and dealing damage. Unfortunately, little's known about Psylocke at the moment, but it does appear as though Marvel Rivals will make use of her ability to conjure a wide variety of weapons to the battlefield. I'm definitely curious to see how this all will play out, and I'm guessing she will likely be a DPS character. Additionally, like Black Panther, Psylocke will also team up with magic. Squirrel Girl looks to be a counter to even invincible seeming enemies, taking down her foes in unexpected ways, which I gotta say sounds super cool. I'm not sure which category she'll fall into exactly, but I'm curious to see some gameplay nonetheless. She even teams up with Rocket, certifying the Guardian as perhaps the most versatile character in the game. The Thing is another Fantastic Four member that we just don't know too much about yet. That being said, Ben is almost certainly going to be a tank. The Thing looks to shield allies and presumably pack quite the punch as well. I feel like we can guess how the Thing will play, but who knows, maybe we'll be surprised. Alright, Thor looks to be one tanky boy when he enters Marvel Rivals. There are a lot of abilities listed, but it seems Thor will focus on swinging around Mjolnir, summoning lightning, and pushing around enemy teams. Thor looks to team up with Hela, in addition to both Storm and Captain America, giving his respective mains quite a few options. Another villain looks to join the roster with Ultron. Now, Ultron seems to be a support character who commands an army of drones to either deal damage or heal allies. As we only have 4 support characters currently, I'm always down to add more, especially those with interesting sounding abilities. Venom is almost certainly destined to be a tank with some offensive capabilities, and is even slated to receive a team-up with both Spider-Man and Penny Parker. Venom looks to receive all sorts of AoE abilities, and of course, wall crawling. And if that didn't sound tough enough to deal with, the fan-favorite Spider-Man villain will also generate bonus health for itself. Not a lot is known about Bucky Barnes' abilities in Marvel Rivals, but like Cap, we do have some info on the character's backstory. Apparently, the Winter Soldier was rescued by Hawkeye and a 2099 version of Captain America. What this will mean for Bucky still remains to be seen, but perhaps there's room for some sort of futuristic iteration of the character. Like the Punisher, Bucky will be able to take advantage of Rocket's ammo overload ability, which is already quite the potent team-up. Wolverine is probably one of the most desired characters, but unfortunately, he's one of the handful we just don't know that much about yet. That being said, we can safely assume his healing factor will play some role in his character, as will his adamantium claws. I presume he'll be yet another physical brawler akin to Black Panther or Spider-Man, but maybe a bit tankier due to his regenerating health. Now that does it for all the leaked characters, but there's still a couple of rumored heroes to talk about. First up is Jean Grey. As pointed out by Kay on Twitter, not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I'll have their post linked below, the Magneto lore in the game seems to hint at the arrival of Phoenix. Now, could this mean that Phoenix is coming too? Perhaps, but who knows if it will be as a playable character. I certainly hope so, but we'll have to wait and see. And the last character I wanted to touch on is Deadpool. Deadpool is one of the most requested characters in the game, and I'm honestly a bit surprised we haven't heard anything about him yet. Miller Ross was even asked about it on Twitter, and he responded by saying, "I'm sure they have plans for him." Now, it doesn't sound like he's speaking from personal knowledge, but rather speculating. And I gotta say that I agree, it just makes too much sense to me. Still, it will likely take NetEase some time to get through this roster of upcoming heroes, so who knows? We might have to wait a while to see Wade Wilson in action, assuming that we eventually will. If I had to take any guesses after that, I would say Cyclops and Thanos seem like decent bets, but honestly, I'm just speculating here. NetEase seems comfortable thinking outside the box, and to this point, I gotta say it's been working for him. But after hours and hours with the game, I am absolutely loving my time with Marvel Rivals so far. I got a lot of content planned for the coming weeks and months, and that's before any major reveals that will inevitably happen before that 1.0 launch. So if you're looking to stay up to date on all the Marvel Rivals hype, make sure to give this channel a follow, and I'll continue to do my best to try and provide the absolute most thorough content that I can possibly make. That does it for this look at all those leaked and rumored Marvel Rivals characters, so until next time, see you on the battlefield.